So this is the palm side. And so if you go down here, so the lower arm, there's one muscle that stands out in front of everybody else. That's this guy right here. That is the Palmaris Longus.
Palmaris Longus.
All the rest of the guys on this side are the flexors because they cause the paw to flex. So everything else is a flexor. So I can poke any of these guys here underneath, it's a flexor. But if I poke this one in particular, Palmaris Longus. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the inside, and then I'll flip to the back side. So if I go up here, the next thing I'm going to notice is the upper arm. For the upper arm, you've got this one right here, which goes from the shoulder down to the middle of the arm. And that is a Clavo Brachialis, because it goes from the clavicle to the arm. Clavo Brachialis. Then, if I look at it, the next thing I'll probably see is this big stripe that goes across like this. That is the Pecto Antebrachialis. So let me lift that out and separate it. So right here, Pecto Antebrachialis. Below that should be a triangle that comes down to the midline right about here. That first triangle directly underneath this one is the Pectoralis Major. And then a little bit further down here is a Pectoralis Minor. Now on my cat, it's not very clear, but there should be because it's got some stuff still sitting on top of it. But the Zippy humoralis got a little bit torn up, but that's this guy right here. So right underneath the Pectoralis Minor is the Zippy humoralis. It starts with an X, not a Z. Okay, if I go back up to the arm here, so there's my there's my Clavo Brachialis up here, my Pecto Antebrachialis. So if I go underneath on the lower half of the arm, covering all the muscles, is this little guy right there. That is called the Epitrochlearis. Epitrochlearis. If I move him down and move everybody else back, there, right there, that little round guy, that's the Biceps Brachii. So the top of your arm muscle, the biceps. Yes?
What was the one above the bicep one?
Above the bicep or below? There's
No, the one down.
one down, the Epitrochlearis. Epitrochlearis. Epi on top of, I don't know what trochlearis means. So this one sits on top of the triceps. So Epitrochlearis. Okay, now we have the Clavo Brachialis here, but if you just follow it up a little bit more, up here in the neck area, it becomes the Clavo Trapezius. So Clavo Brachialis, Clavo Trapezius right there. Okay, if I go, so we have the Zippy humoralis. Then right here, you should find around the side, the wing, the big fat wing. That's the Latissimus Dorsi. Big fat wing right there. Latissimus Dorsi goes around the side like that.
Is that connected to the
It comes, there's like a little section where they overlap each other. Down here we've got the sideways muscles called the external obliques. And if you make a little incision and peek inside, not a deep incision or else you'll go through to the gut, you'll find the internal obliques. So external, internal obliques like that. Holding it all together down the middle is the white line or the linea alba. And that's just what's holding the seam down the middle together.
You want a way to remember that?
Well, Albus Dumbledore wore white a lot.
Or Jessica Alba holds the top 40 pop charts in together. Jessica Alba.
All right, sounds good. Okay, so going back up here, we've done all the superficial. If we look at the deep side over here, what you're going to do, so here's where the arm was, so I have it pulled back and away. What you want to do is look for this nub here. This little nub is all the blood vessels and nerves that fed the arm that got severed. That's your focal point. Once you start there, if you go down towards the midline, you're going to get this little guy that looks like a leaf. That's the transverse costarum. He points, there's a point at the end, he points to the rectus abdominis, which is all right along here. So if it's directly below it, rectus abdominis, and it goes down the whole length, but this is the best place to see it here. Now, we have that leaf here coming out of this. So if I go a little bit more towards the back and follow, there's one that goes all the way down, and that is the scalenes. So I always picture someone scaling up it like a mountain. So that's that one right next to it. So transverse costarum, rectus abdominis, scalenes. The scalenes kind of cover this guy, which is the fan-shaped ones that are attached to the arm, and those are the serratus muscles right there. Going deep into the shoulder, underneath the bone, that one right there is the subscapularis. which means under the scapula. If I go towards the outside here, there's this little wiggle of muscle here, which is attached to the point. There is no bone underneath it. There is no scapula. That is a teres major, T-E-R-E-S, teres major. So subscapularis, teres major. Now, if I take my arm and fold it over and look at the back, where my muscles, this side. So I'm on the back. This is the spine. So if I pull this apart a little bit, you can see all these little guys, which were holding the shoulder to the spine. Those are the rhomboids. The rhomboids mostly attached to the spine, but there is one that takes a detour and goes all the way up to the head. That's this guy right here. That's a rhomboideus capitis. Capitis means head. Underneath him is the splenius muscle, which is the neck muscle. Both the splenius and the rhomboid capitis are covered by the clavo trapezius. So this has the clavo trapezius pulled off so we can see underneath. On the shoulder blade, this is deep. Above the spine, right here, we have the supraspinatus. Below the spine, is the infraspinatus. And once again, the teres is right here on the back. So I want you to be able to see some of the muscles on both sides because I don't know which way I'll pin it. So we have the teres major, infraspinatus, supraspinatus, and the spine's right along here. This is deep. Superficial on the arm is right here. So there's the clavo trapezius again, covering the neck. We have the acromio trapezius, which is covering the shoulder blade. And then the little triangle right here is the spino trapezius. So trap, trap, trap. So clavo trapezius, acromio trapezius, spino trapezius. So all of these make up the trapezii. So that's the little wing right there, which is right next to the Latissimus Dorsi, which was the big wing from the side.
What's the small wing?
The small wing is the spino trapezius. Now if I turn him kind of lateral so we can see the outside of his arm, we have the lateral head of the triceps and the long head. We don't care, we're just going to call them both triceps. So it doesn't matter which one I put it in, they're triceps. This right here is the spino-deltoid, not to be confused with the spino-trapezius. So this is in the shoulder where your deltoids are, spino-deltoid. On the side, making the left side of that triangle, or depending on if you're looking over here, it'd be the right side. This one right here, which kind of sits between the spino-deltoid and the Clavo Brachialis, is the Acromion Deltoid. So the Acromion Deltoid fits right in between those two. Then right above it, you've got a little muscle. Let's see, right here. That little guy right there, that's the Leviter Scapulae Ventralis. So this guy sits on top, so it makes a triangle here, here, and here. So the Leviter Scapulae Ventralis. Okay? So we got the two triceps, and if I pull a triceps back, there's the biceps from the other side. So that way you can see it from both sides, biceps. Okay, I think that's everything up here. So we're going to scoop down and do his back butt side area.